what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome back to another episode of Fun Friday. Today we're back in the kitchen and we're going to be making some delicious food right now. This is a recipe I've been wanting to do for a while. It's quick, it's simple, and it is absolutely delicious. And I think it's time that you tried it out as well. So I have everything I need right in front of me here today. There's not that much we need, and you may have guessed, either from the title of the video or from the ingredients that we have in front of us, that today we are making pancakes. But not just pancakes. It's pancakes, Mr. Martin style. So making pancakes is really simple. All we need first off is just some simple plain flour, and I've got an exact measurement of 200 grams of that. And we're just going to need some milk of any kind. It's just a preference really. And for that we're going to need 300 milliliters of that. And finally you're also just going to need 1 egg. In terms of equipment, there are a few things you can use here to make your job easier. For example, having some digital scales really helps. Having a measuring jug is really helpful as well. Having a whisk like this, or even an automatic whisk would probably be even better. Having a nice big pan so that you can easily get those pancakes on there. And probably my most important piece of equipment that I'm using today is this. It's sort of a mixing jug with a spout bit on it. Because one, it's nice and big, so it's really easy to mix everything in, and then because of this on the end, you can quite easily pour that in there without making too much mess. You may have noticed that I also have my butterscotch syrup. This is just what I'm going to be putting on top of it. Some people know this about me, but if you don't, then here's a little lesson. Butterscotch is my favourite flavour in the entire world. I absolutely love it. If I see butterscotch flavoured anything, I'll be buying it. So we'll be putting that on there. But of course, in terms of toppings, that can be completely up to you. You may choose to just put some sugar on there, some lemon juice, some maple syrup, anything at all, as long as you enjoy it. That's the main thing. So let's get started. First off, we're just going to put our flour into our mixing bowl, just like that. We're going to join that with our milk, right on in there. And we are also just going to crack an egg and throw that in as well. There is absolutely no messing about here. Some people might want to put them in little bits at a time, but to be honest, I just throw it all in there and get on with it. And we get to whisking. Just mix that all up in there. You might need to just move it around a bit as well as you whisk and get a nice even batter going. Make sure you get all of that flour off the sides as well and off the little corners of the bottom. You don't want any dry flour left in here. And then once you've got that, just keep on whisking until you've got a nice, smooth pancake batter. The pancakes I make are slightly thicker than a lot of pancakes that you may get or make around here in the UK. They're slightly closer to American pancakes, but that's just the way I like them. And I think you're going to love them too. Have you ever seen ingredients finished with so quickly? I'd say no, because this right here, the batter we've got in here, is all we are going to need to cook these pancakes. So I'm just going to move our cameras around a little bit for the first time ever on this show, and we are going to go over to the hobs and put this batter in the pan. Okay, cameras are set up. I've got one looking at the pan and one looking at me. One thing I did forget to mention is for this part of the cooking, you are going to need some sort of lubricant, whether that's margarine or sunflower spread like I've got, or just some oil, just to make sure that that pancake's not sticking in the pan. So, without further ado, let's get this batter in this pan. We're going to turn on our hob, full power, put our pan on there, and we're going to get some butter in here right away. All you need is about a teaspoon of this on there like that, and then you're just going to move that around in your pan so that it gets nice and lubricated before we put that batter in there. Now I have found in my experience that margarine is not quite as good as butter, and we're going to see how sunflower spread is. because I haven't had too much experience with using this with my pancakes either. But that looks about ready to me, so we're going to put our batter in there now. You want to aim for the middle. Don't try to cover the whole surface. You want to get about 2/3 and then let go and let that spread out itself. Just wipe up any of that excess. That's good already. Now we're just going to leave that for a bit. We are going to leave that where it is. It wants to be left alone. We're going to let it be alone for a little bit. It might just sit there for a little bit, and once you see the sides of this start to harden, you'll know that we might have a chance to move it around. We're just going to let it settle. Now you can see that the sides are starting to solidify a little bit, so we can probably guess that the underside is starting to cook. Now what we can do right now, just to see, is just give it a little bit of a move, and hopefully your pancake should just move around like that. Now we don't want to flip it yet, because if we do, all of that soft wet batter is going to go everywhere. And we don't want that. We really, really don't want that. Now you'll notice that it's now starting to solidify a little bit more on the edges, and I would say this is probably the earliest point where we'd want to start flipping this. And in fact, I think I'm going to give this a flip right now. So, let's see how we do. Now you can do this with a spatula if you're not very confident, but I do like to do this just in one single flip, like so, and back there on the hob to cook that underside. So we've got a nice crisp on the bottom of there, and it's not going to take very long to do the other side as well, because most of that had started to solidify anyway. So you might just want to give it a move around just to get a nice even crisp on the bottom. And in a few more seconds we can turn that over and see what it looks like. You normally see that now when the sides start to curl up, it's because the other side is pretty well cooked. So let's just have a look at that. And look at that, a nice crisp on there. Grab yourself a plate, because this is done. Now this is one of my party tricks, and I'm going to attempt this in this tiny little space that I've got. But for my party trick, I like to flip onto the plate. So let's see if I can do it, shall we? There we are. Nice pancake on the plate. Delicious. And there we have it. A beautiful pancake ready for some butterscotch syrup. Nice little layer on there. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a roll up as well. I like to roll my pancakes up. And once I've given it a roll, I'm going to put a little bit more syrup just to drizzle over the top there to give it a nice extra butterscotchy kick. Let's see what we think. It wouldn't be a cooking show without trying it out. Delicious. So that's it, a really simple, quick but delicious recipe this week on Mr. Martin's Meals, so you can try this at home while you're stuck inside a little bit longer. I really hope you enjoyed today. I know that I enjoyed it, and I know I'm going to be enjoying it for a little bit longer after with this delicious pancake. So make sure you try it at home, and be sure to let me know how your pancakes turn out. I'll see you next time.